Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. So today I'm not going to be featuring any fan art because I have an ongoing poll. I think there's a day left, so please check it out if you haven't yet, about what we're going to do about the fan art situation. I'll leave the link to that specific poll in the description. Anyways, let's get on with the video. I was sent this article by Cosmopolitan by multiple people. This article is called 8 Reasons Why You Should Rethink Your Stance on Cheating. So I'm just gonna say it right here. Don't sue me, Cosmo, but for real, what is up with the shit you've been posting lately? The incest thing, now this, why? Just why? So here it says, psychotherapist and a relationship expert Esther Perel thinks we'd be a lot better off if we weren't so hard on infidelity. Okay. So basically this therapist, Perel, has heard a lot of people's experiences with cheating, so she wrote a book about it. Okay, cool. So she recently sat down to answer some questions on her views, and here are 8 key reasons why we should all relax our views on infidelity a little bit from probably the foremost scholar on cheating that the world has to offer. I have a feeling I'm about to get very angry. We'll see if I end up being right, but... Number 1, it affects probably everyone you know. At one point during her talk, Perel asked the audience to raise their hands if they've experienced infidelity in any capacity. Nearly the entire audience raised their hands. Perel said acknowledging how common cheating is an important step in breaking down the taboo that exists around it in US culture. Look, I don't care what kind of study you're doing. It does not matter that a lot of people are doing it to make it okay. Like, there's a reason it's taboo. It's because it hurts and deranges children. Trust, I'm one of them. And sometimes people come out unharmed from it, whether it's your parents, your significant other. Sometimes it fucks you up a lot, so let's not undermine that. Also, there are a lot of people that go around murdering. Are we gonna try and take off the taboo from that too? Number 2, cheating is way more complicated than most people think. She said that you can't summarize it in black and white and that it can't be a good person and bad person. This conversation is wrong. She said that thinking that there's this right or wrong leads to a misunderstanding of cheating. The narrative that a cheater is a bad person and the person who was cheated is a victim erases all the emotions and experiences that play into a decision to cheat. And by better understanding all those things, people are likely to take a compassionate approach to infidelity rather than prematurely cutting a person out of their lives because of it. Look, if you want a relationship where you can be with other people, be in a polyamorous relationship. The problem is that the term cheating implies that there was an understanding or an agreement that these 2 people or whatever amount of people in this relationship were gonna only be with each other. That's why it's called cheating, because you set boundaries and someone crossed them. So if you want to take away the taboo from cheating, don't be a cheater and just be in a polyamorous relationship, so then you can have sex with whoever and it's not a big deal. I don't understand why we're trying to change how the monogamous relationship works. Just be in another type of relationship if you can't be monogamous. I don't understand why we have to rethink cheating. And honestly, I'm kind of the type of person who thinks cheating is black and white. I think also because my parents had a whole thing with that. It resulted in me not seeing or speaking to one parent for over 15 years. So as someone who's, a child of a relationship where that happened, I can say that it's fucking horrible. And it's not black and white in the sense that one's a victim who never did anything bad and the other one's like the most horrible person in the world. The only black and white thing is one cheated, one didn't. That's all I see. I don't think that there's this huge moral judgment that I make about you if you cheat. I'm gonna say, yeah, you fucked up. Yeah, you did something wrong. You probably destroyed someone's feelings. You might give them issues trusting people. I don't think you're the worst person in the world, but I do think that you probably have some issues you need to figure out. So 3, it says, treating cheating people with shame only hurts people more. Perel said the judgmental nature with which people in this culture approach cheating is ultimately harmful to the people who've experienced it. People can tell you they're divorced, they will not tell you they have experienced infidelity, Perel said. This becomes one of the most isolating experiences. This is bad for a couple of reasons. It hurts people who stand to benefit from talking about something happening in their life, and it diminishes the possibility of working through infidelity as a couple. I agree and disagree because, okay, I know that people are always telling me, don't shame people for doing this, don't shame people for doing that. There has to be a line where we say this is not okay and you should be ashamed of yourself for doing it. The same way that when someone murders someone, I'm not gonna go out and be like, hey, don't shame them, they murdered someone, that hurts their feelings. No, I don't give a fuck, okay? So, if you cheated, I'm not going to say that you're the worst person in the universe. Do I think you should be ashamed of yourself for doing that? For hurting someone's feelings? For possibly hurting a child if there's a child in the mix? Yeah, you should be ashamed of yourself. However, I do think that there shouldn't be shame for the person who suffered it, because a lot of the times I do think that some of the blame is put on the person with that, like the other person being like, oh, clearly you weren't doing X, Y, or Z for them. Clearly you weren't satisfying them in bed. Clearly X, Y, Z. And I don't like that at all, because when someone cheats, they cheated, they made that choice. If they had a problem with something you did, they had to come talk to you, or if they wanted to sleep with other people, they break up with you, or you guys decide to be in a polyamorous relationship. I do think that that's quite simple. 4, cheating is hardly ever about sex. I never thought it was only about sex, but okay. One of the big motivators Perel sees for cheating has nothing to do with simply wanting to have sex with someone else because you think they're attractive. She says that what you're doing is reconnecting with parts of your lost parts of yourself, with a different version of you, with a sense of aliveness. Even though you may have not gone about trying to figure out what you're missing in your relationship in the not so kindest way, the cheating could be an indicator of what it might be. Yeah, definitely agree. I think cheating is an indicator of what the hell, is missing, is wrong. Yeah. I don't think you need to get to the point of cheating, though, to realize that something is wrong. There are things like therapy, there are things like taking a break and taking time to think. There are things such as mature adult conversation of being like, hey, I feel like this. Do you feel this way? What do you think it might be? Like, it doesn't have to get to that extent. So to say that, like, I feel like this is kind of positioning cheating as like, oh, it'll help you figure things out about yourself. You don't need cheating to do that, though. So, no. 5, an affair can be without any sex at all. Yeah, I also already knew that. So, okay. Pearl said that you have to rethink cheating. What you're experiencing is an experience of desire. She said affairs are not about sex. Affairs are about desire, for connection, for intensity, for physical touch, for feeling alive. You have a whole affair with no sex, and it is just as intense as passionate if you had actually had the act. It is more enchantment than performance. All the more reason not to judge someone else's situation. Just because you're not having sex, it doesn't mean people can't judge your situation, though. I mean, you didn't have sex, but I think a lot of the times emotional affairs are a lot worse because there's like that connection, whereas I feel like sex could just be like animal instinct or whatever you want to call it. Neither of them are okay, but I think I would personally be more hurt by an emotional thing. Just because you desire someone in a moment, in multiple moments, for a long time, if you're with someone else, it's just as simple as breaking it off or deciding to be polyamorous. I don't know why, if you know that you can't be with one person, you would even be in a monogamous relationship. But let's say you didn't know until you started dating this girl, and then you're like, wow, I'm feeling all this type of crap for Shelly. Well, fine. So you gotta tell your girlfriend, hey, I wanna bang Shelly and be with Shelly, or you gotta figure things out. Because effectively, there is a way around cheating, and it's called not being in a relationship, being in a polyamorous relationship, being in an open relationship. There's so many options. So why would you get in a monogamous relationship and then be like, oh yeah, let's change the way we think about cheating? Just change the relationship you're in. Like, damn, I'm not about to change my views about cheating just because you want to be in a monogamous relationship and go bang everyone, okay? No. And by the way, this has nothing to do with slut shaming, because I know that one person will pop up. I don't care who you have sex with. I don't care. Just don't hurt someone's feelings. Don't. Avoid it. Why not? Okay, 6, jealousy in moderation isn't a bad thing. Pearl admits that jealousy is by no means a fun feeling, but she takes issue with the idea that jealousy is an inherently traumatic experience. That's absolutely to be avoided. Jealousy is part of the erotic self. It's so intrinsic to love. It reconnects people with a part of their erotic self. It is part of the erotic, the darker corner of the erotic. Completely agree. I think that it's normal to have a bit of jealousy, because it is kind of the way that a lot of the times either you prove to someone or to yourself that you really care about them, because, you want them to be yours. And obviously that has to be within bounds. Like, it's not supposed to be extreme, but a little bit, yeah. And I completely agree with that. I'm not an extremely jealous person, but for sure I can be jealous. And I do think that that's kind of a way that I show that I do have love for that person. 7. Monogamy can't and shouldn't be assumed. Perel credits LGBT communities with carrying the conversation around non-monogamy and more realistic, freeing approaches to dating. She added that conversation around monogamy should be just that, a conversation, not an assumption. Who said it's an assumption, though? In every relationship that I have heard of from my friends, and I've only been in one, so I can only speak about one, there's been a very specific conversation about, hey, we're not going to date other people, or hey, we're going to date other people, or hey, let's just be transparent. If we end up dating other people, let's talk about it. I've never ever heard of a relationship where people start seeing each other and it's assumed without saying anything that it's monogamous. I've never heard of that. But then again, maybe these people are more common. I've just never ever heard of that, ever. 8. Getting over monogamy squeamishness allows people more room to breathe. And that freedom can often lead people to feel more comfortable and happy in a relationship and less tempted to cheat or have an affair or lie. Perel likened this to the way people only feel antsy and want to leave a place when they feel enclosed in it. Just like no one feels like they need to get air when they're already outside, people are less restricted by boundaries in a relationship, feel less likely to get some air by seeking freeing experiences elsewhere. So this is interesting because the whole article, you're pretty much being an apologist for cheating and like why it's okay and it's not that big of a deal and we should all just chill. Yet at number 8, you're also saying by stopping being squeamish, cheating will be less of an issue, which is kind of going against your argument because you're saying that cheating shouldn't be a big deal in the first place. You see where the contradiction comes here? Because you're saying, oh, we could minimize cheating by doing this though. It's just like, if you want to minimize cheating, then obviously you realize that there's something that's not okay about it, right? So, I mean, this comes from Cosmopolitan, you know, like it's the dump of the internet at this point. Along with Tumblr, they should get married. They'd have like the worst child ever. Let me know what you guys think about cheating. To be quite frank, I do have a very biased perspective because like I said, I have kind of been a witness of it in some ways. I've had friends being cheated on, so I do know what it is like for that person to be cheated on and to be broken and feel horrific. So it's very hard for me to want to overly empathize with the cheaters. Now, I can say people make mistakes. I can say, you know, it doesn't automatically make you a shit person, but it means you made a shit decision and you should feel bad for that shit decision if you were in a monogamous relationship. Anyways, this always goes back to the argument of the thing that the world wants you to just blindly accept everything, whether you think it's good or not. And it's just like some things are not meant to be accepted, like pedophilia. It is not meant to be accepted. Cheating is not meant to be accepted if you specifically put yourself in a monogamous relationship. So, God, this was annoying. Anyways, guys, let me know what you think about this. Let me know if you've experienced anything that is relevant to this. And anyways, I'll see you in the next video.